Hello everyone, my name is Piu. Recently, I listened to a podcast that really made me stop and think. It was about self-hatred and why being hard on ourselves doesn't really help us to become better people. As I listened, I realized that many of the ideas reflected on my own experiences. It also helped me to understand something that I have never been able to put into words. In today's video, I would like to share some notes I took from that podcast and the lesson that stood out to me the most. These are not my original ideas, but they are ideas that have changed the way I think about personal growth. I hope that these notes might also encourage someone who has been struggling with their own inner critics. Let's begin. You cannot hate yourself into becoming the person you want to be. Self-hatred may feel motivating at first, but in the long run, it destroying confidence, resilience, relationships, happiness, and growth. So where self-hatred comes from? Self-hatred is usually learned, not born. As children, we develop our own self-image through parents, teachers, siblings, friends, and social experiences. When criticism, humiliation, rejection, bullying, or conditional love are repeated, we begin to internalize those messages. The external critic becomes internal critic. So why is self-hatred so familiar? Most people unconsciously use self-criticism as protection. If I criticize myself first, nobody hurt me. If I expect failure, I won't be disappointed. So because this pattern becomes familiar, it may feel safe even when it is really harmful. Self-hatred can create success. Self-hatred can motivate actions in the short term. Fear, shame, and frustration can push people to work harder, to study longer, or exercise more. However, the same voice that says work harder can also say you're not good enough. Eventually, it can lead to burnout, frustration, perfectionism, and also loss of confidence. So, what is the difference between high standards and self-hatred? High standards come from believing you deserve improvements and growth, but self-hatred comes from believing you are not good enough and may prove your worth. So there may be they may look similar from the outside, but internally it's totally different. Self-hatred can also create self-sabotage. When people secretly believe they are unworthy, they often avoid opportunities. They do not apply for jobs, start projects, take risks, or pursue meaningful goals. Avoidance protects them from failure, but also prevents them from discovering what might be possible. Self-hatred consumes enormous mental energy. Instead of living life, people spend their attention monitoring themselves, comparing themselves, judging themselves, and worrying about what they may appear to others. It reduces joy, freedom, and presence. And self-hatred can also affect relationships. Self-hatred rarely stays internal. It can appear as jealousy, defensiveness, comparison, harsh judgment, or irritability. Okay, people who struggle with self-worth often threatened by people who might seem comfortable with themselves. The important thing is how to break the pattern. Ask who the inner critic actually serves. Challenge the evidence for self-hatred. Give the inner critic a name. Thank it for trying to protect you. Then move forward. Protect yourself from the environments that normalize self-loathing. Keep a list of things you genuinely love about yourself. You cannot hate yourself into loving yourself. You cannot hate yourself into meaningful change. Real growth comes from self-respect, self-awareness, courage, and compassion. Those are the lessons that stay with me after listening to that podcast. Thank you so much for watching. If you found these ideas helpful, please feel free to share your thoughts. See you in the next video. Take care.